He thought his son couldn't speak, then he spied on the nanny and froze in shock. For 6 long years, billionaire tech mogul Richard Lennox believed his only son, Aidan, was mute. Doctors gave countless theories: selective mutism, developmental delays, psychological trauma, but none had answers. Despite the fortune Richard poured into therapies and specialists, Aidan never spoke a single word. His silent world became Richard's heartbreak. Then came Elena, the nanny. She was quiet, patient, and gentle, unlike the revolving door of caregivers before her. Within days, Aidan seemed calmer. He smiled more, he even laughed silently, something Richard had never seen. But still, no words. Late one night, working late from home, Richard passed by the nursery and heard something impossible. Voices, tiny, soft, and unmistakably Aidan's. Frozen, Richard stood outside the door, barely breathing. He peered through the crack and saw a moment that changed his life. Aidan was speaking. Not just babbling, talking, full sentences. "Tell me the story again," he said, eyes shining. Elena smiled and began telling a bedtime story in sign language and speech. Aidan was mimicking her, repeating the words with perfect clarity. Richard's knees buckled. He waited until morning to ask Elena everything. She explained that she suspected Aidan wasn't mute, just afraid. Past nannies had pressured him, but Elena built trust using sign language, songs, and patience. Slowly, Aidan found safety and his voice. It wasn't a miracle, it was love. From that day on, Aidan never stopped talking, and Richard, once buried in his work and wealth, realized the most valuable thing in his world had been waiting silently for him to listen. And he finally did. In the days that followed the miraculous night, Richard Lennox became a different man. Meetings were postponed, stocks were secondary. For the first time in years, he ate breakfast with Aidan instead of leaving notes on the counter. And every morning, Aidan said the same thing with a proud smile. "Good morning, Daddy." Those 3 words shattered Richard more than any business failure ever could, because for years he thought he'd never hear them. But what truly unraveled him was the video. One afternoon, Elena handed him a flash drive. "I thought you'd want this," she said. On it were hours of footage she'd secretly recorded, not for fame or money, but for proof. She wanted Richard to see Aidan's progress firsthand, the first whispered word, the first story told aloud. The first time Aidan said "I love you," even if it wasn't to his father. Richard locked himself in his study and watched the clips through trembling fingers, and for the first time since his wife died in childbirth, he cried. Tears of guilt, of joy, of redemption. Later that night, he sat with Aidan and told him the truth, that he'd failed him, that he hadn't known how to be a father. And Aidan, wise beyond his years, simply replied, "It's okay, Daddy. You were scared. I was too." Richard held him close, silently thanking Elena for bringing his son's voice to life and for showing him how to be a father. From that moment on, Richard built more than just companies. He built a home. Would you like a part 3? Maybe where the nanny's secret past is revealed, or how she